Months of tense negotiations has resulted in a stronger partnership between the United States and Ukraine. Both sides have signed a new minerals deal Thursday, giving the U.S. access to Ukraine's minerals and natural resources. But the biggest goal is building a more peaceful and resilient Ukraine with better defense against Russian forces. President Trump discussed the new deal during his latest cabinet meeting.
I didn't want to make a complicated deal. I didn't want to make a deal that couldn't be made because Ukraine doesn't have very much money. They're going through a very bad period of time. It's been brutal. But I felt very foolish being a judge. So I said, well, we want something for our efforts beyond what you would think would be acceptable. And we said rare earth. They have very good rare earth. As you know, we're looking for rare earth all the time.
So the question is, what's included in this deal and how will this ultimately affect the future of Ukraine's war with Russia? Joining me now is the Director of Communications for the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, Andrij Dobriansky. Also with us is former Special Advisor for Ukraine's Armed Forces, Dan Rice. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Now, Andrij, I'm going to start with you. We know the Trump administration needed to see major progress made by Russia and Ukraine, or else they were going to pull out. Marco Rubio and the president were very clear about that. But Putin has offered a short ceasefire, while Zelensky is still maintaining he wants a permanent ceasefire. So the question, how vital is this mineral agreement, and what do you expect this deal can lead to when it comes to really the ongoing war?
Well, yeah, we have heard mentions of a ceasefire from Russia. Unfortunately, during the Easter ceasefire, numerous civilians were killed by rocket attacks by Russia. So the proposed ceasefire for next week, we anticipate will be the same thing with more rockets being attacked at Ukraine. But what Ukraine is countering it is, let's do what President Trump asked for back in March 11, and that is a 30-day ceasefire. So hopefully that comes to pass with the United States being involved in some way. As far as the minerals deal, this is, I would concentrate on three parts for Ukraine's benefit and the United States' benefit. First and foremost, we have a signed agreement. Russia doesn't even know how to react to this. This is something that Russia did not want to have happen. This is something that China did not want to have happen. So this is a win-win for both sides because we got together finally to sign this agreement. After what we all think in terms of the investment and getting money back in several years, there are other parts to it as well. For instance, Ukraine, any military weapon donation or transfer of weapons, frankly, that's what it says in the document, to Ukraine will count as an investment by the United States within this fund. So we all know it's a 50-50 fund. Ukraine's investment will be by the minerals. And any kind of weapons we transfer will count as per the value of those weapons as an investment into that fund.
That helps a lot. I want to get to Dan. Now, Dan, we've already walked through some of it, but I want you to talk and drill a little bit more about what's actually in this mineral agreement. And Andrij's mentioned that it's beneficial for both sides. Is this a win for President Trump? And give us a little bit more about what's in the agreement, how it's going to affect the United States.
Sure. Thanks, TW, and thanks. Good to see you, Andrij. I'm here in Ukraine right now, and morale is very high. This is a great deal for the world, and it is much bigger than originally was negotiated in public. So it is a full reconstruction fund, and so it has a lot of areas that this could grow much beyond just minerals. The mineral rights deal, I think, is a win-win. Some of the negotiation tactics went back and forth, and I won't go into the detail there, but there was a lot of animosity back and forth and in the public, but it actually worked out as a perfectly great win-win for the United States, for Ukraine. Sergei Marchenko, who I met with here in Ukraine, is the Minister of Finance. He negotiated it with Secretary Bessent, and they negotiated a great deal, but it's much bigger than that. It will end up being what I think will be the Marshall Plan. It will become much bigger. Other countries will be able to donate to it. It's leveraged by the Development Finance Corporation, which is the U.S. government financing arm, DFC. So it is a great deal. It is much more complicated and much more sophisticated than people knew, and it is much more of a win-win for both Ukraine, Europe, and United States. So I'm really excited about this. And this opens up a whole series of other things that are going to snowball into
that makes sense.
A ceasefire and permanent security.
Well, the thing for me, we know if it's a win for the United States, it's a win for Ukraine, and it's a win for Europe. It's probably not a win for Russia. So help me, Andrij. I want to better understand what minerals are included in this, and how does this benefit the United States? And does this ultimately help us move toward our goal of peace in that region of the world?
Well, as far as what benefits the United States, we're talking about locking in the rights for minerals for the next several decades. That's how much is estimated to be in the ground, several decades worth of rare earth minerals. That means the United States and its manufacturers and investors in the United States can already start planning. Oh, we know that in the next coming decades, we will not be beholden to China for these minerals. The next part, however, we're talking about upwards of 5 to 7 years of development of that mining technology. So first of all, we have to go back to what was assessed earlier, and American experts will come in and try to figure out where the best types of deposits are, what the quality of deposits are. This will determine what kind of equipment will need to be made. So there's a process to getting to the next goal, which is actually the extraction. But for the United States, what investors in the United States know is that Donald Trump has figured out a way for the United States not to be beholden, or American companies not to be beholden to China. Yeah.
So important. Dan, I want to give you the final word here. Now, you're on the ground there in Ukraine. What's the reaction from the Ukrainian people on this mineral deal? I know there was some turmoil with the way Zelensky handled himself when he made the visit to the White House. What are the Ukrainian people saying? About 25 seconds.
I think morale is very high. Actually, show you this glove that was presented. The world champion boxer gave this to me through Mr. Budkovich, who owns the largest beryllium mine in Ukraine. So I get a lot of access to the titanium, beryllium owners of these lands. And they're very excited about this. This is great. They were not mining a lot of these areas before. They need U.S. infrastructure, technology, and capital. And that all comes together. So we're bringing it together in a win-win. Forget about what was said about paying back debts, but it's a win-win. They are very excited here. And it opens up the opportunity for so much more in our partnership and our long-term partnership between the United States and Ukraine.
I like a win-win. Andrij Dobriansky and Dan Rice, gentlemen, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.